October 25th, here we are, a brand new episode of Let There Be Talk, brought to you by CactusRadioNetwork.com. Now you can get all of my podcasts on one network, CactusRadioNetwork.com. Follow it on Instagram and go to the website. Check it out. All the podcasts are free. Dark Fonzie, At Home with Byron Katie, Let There Be Talk, and The Grail. CactusRadioNetwork.com. All right. Thanks for tuning in today. It's Monday, and I'm in Las Vegas about to do 14 shows here at the Comedy Cellar at the Rio Hotel. So if you are in town or you're looking to hit Vegas, this is the time to come out, see me do some comedy. I'm here all week. Bring your scary Halloween mask and let's have some fun. Gertie is out here with me. She's doing a little gambling. Gertie the Frenchie. Glad to have you guys on board. And I want to say thank you right now to Teehees out there in Des Moines, Iowa, and my good friends Sid and Dave that own that place. What a great weekend. And I want to thank all the Patreoners that were there, Matthias and Tommy and Richard. We even had Richard Bailey jump on and do 5 minutes. So great to see some people out there. I'm out there trying to get stronger as a comedian, trying to build this Del Razor force, trying to get to the theaters. Yeah. I'm just trying to get funny, man, and love what I'm doing. Thank God I'm back working a little bit here and there after that crazy weirdness. And my guest today, he's back working, thank God, too. Drummer legend Josh Freese. Yes. He is here. This is his second time here. He was an early guest back in 2014. So if you want to go back and listen to that one first in chronological order, you can do that, or you can just jump in and listen to what he's been up to right now. He has a solo album coming out this Friday called Just a Minute, Volume 1. And then he'll have Volume 2 in January, and it's 40 1-minute songs. Amazing. And it's out on my buddy Stone Gossard's label, Loose Groove. And wow, what a cool concept. 21-minute songs, and then in January, another 21-minute songs. And follow him on Instagram. He's been posting up some cool videos and little clips and everything. Josh is just a crazy, funny guy. He is an amazing friend, and he is a damn legend on the drums, and I am not throwing that around. This man has been playing and touring since he was 16 years old, and I think he's 48 now. Just a lifer behind the kit. Devo, Perfect Circle, Sting, who he's playing with this week in Vegas, and I'm going to go see. Everyone, 9 Inch Nails. It goes on and on and on and on and on and on and on. This guy's list. Holy shit. Played with everybody. The Vandals. Did I say the Vandals? Man, love him. Love him. Met him years ago when he was playing with Dweezil Zappa. We've been friends ever since. We see each other about once every 10 years. Not enough, unfortunately. But we are both alive and we are out there grinding in the arts world. Thank you, Josh Freese, for doing the show. Want to give a shout out right now to the new Patreoners. You can join patreon.com/Dean Del Rey and join me for a Zoom fest every week. I go live on Zoom with all my Patreoners. Ryan Can is in the house. Holly Snyder bumped up her donation. What a goddess. Brian Hoffman. And then Joe B coming in with the fucking powerhouse. Joe B is the Del Razor of the month. I want to tell you about something very cool. If you want to get a free leather jacket, yes, an expensive one, a $2,000-ish free leather jacket, go to standardandstrange.com/Delray and enter your email. They're not going to sell it or anything. It's my favorite denim and leather and boot store. And they just opened a new one in New York City. It is open right now over there in the Lower East Side. Follow them on Instagram, Standard and Strange. But most important, leave your email and we're going to do we're going to do a drawing each month or every 6 weeks or so where we give away one of these jackets. We just gave one away a few weeks ago. Amazing. I love this. standardandstrange.com/Delray. Also, a lot of people ask me, where do you get your glasses? Where do you get your glasses? I want to get me some badass glasses. I only go to one place and they deliver worldwide, so it doesn't matter where you live. I go to Optical Connection, okay? And they're going to give you a discount if you hit them up. Ask Armin when you call. Say, hey, Dean sent me, or go in the store. It's in Studio City. Optical-connection.com. Tell them I sent you and get a great discount. They got Jacques-Marie Mage and Blake Kuwahara in there, both the frames that I wear. They also have Dita and a bunch of other brands. So check it out. Optical-Connection. Great family-owned place. I love this man. Holy smokes. What a great shop. I love all of you. Check out DeanDelRey.com for the tour dates. I'm in Vegas this week. Like I said, after that, I will be in Bend, Oregon and Portland, Oregon, headlining. I'm out headlining, trying to fucking get that muscle going, doing 1 hour comedy, trying to keep people interested, not looking at their phone for 1 hour. You try to do it. Holy shit. Try to talk to someone for an hour without them looking at your phone or your phone or their phone. You try to do it. You try to do it. Talk to your fucking friend for an hour. See if he doesn't look at his phone. Addicted to the phone. Addicted to the phone. Anyway, DeanDelRey.com. Brand new merch. We got the Grail shirt. We got the new Gertie shirts. We got the Dark Fonzie shirts. We got the Perry Shaw Dean Del Rey shirt. It's all reloaded up there. I was sold out. Get it shipped to your house. Great Christmas gift. Yeah. All right. Let's get into the episode. Get the candles lit. You're going to learn all kinds of great rock and roll stories today. This man has got the knowledge behind the kit, playing the DWs for years. Here he is, Josh Freese. How the hell are you, dude?
Good, man. I'm just kind of getting used to being busy again, which I forgot what that's like. You know, I spent my whole life being busy until a year and a half ago, and then got real unbusy real quick.
Yeah.
And you know what's funny? Well, I went to, I spent 14 months not being on a plane, which is the longest I've ever gone. Because even when I was an infant, we'd go back and visit relatives in Minnesota once or twice a year, right? And I've been touring since I was 15. I don't think I've ever been on the ground for 14 months solid, right? So I go to New York for this thing about 4 months ago, and I kind of thought, okay, I'm going to get to New York, and I'm going to be like, oh, yeah, I'm out of the house, I'm away from my family, I'm in New York City. And after about a day, I was like, fuck, man, I want to be back home.
Dude, I
don't know if I want to be on the road.
The same things happened to me. Like, I'm just like you. We've known each other since we were kids.
Yeah.
And we've been on the road. And maybe the only times I ever see you would be crossing at a gig in another city or an airport or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I do know that I think that out of the fear, I knew that I would love that. So I kept running. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, absolutely. Like, I just got back from Greece 2 nights ago, and I was out there. I played 3 gigs with Sting out there, and coming back, I had a layover at Heathrow, which is just a nightmare in which way you slice it, right?
Totally.
And you only, even with an hour and a half between flights, you got to get off the flight and fucking run, or you're not going to, because the terminal changes. It's not just a tram. You get on a bus, and you're like fucking...
It's
you're on
the
a freeway,
worst.
all of a
It's
sudden
like
you're on a freeway,
Chicago.
and you're like, what the fuck?
Like Chicago, they drop you at United, and then they go, oh, your gate will be at United 44. That's 4 miles away in that goddamn airport.
Yeah, it's
You're
insanity.
like, what the fuck? You got a bag? There's a million people. I mean,
so long story short, I missed the fucking connecting flight. So just when I'm tired and just want to get home, and I'm already going, oh my God, I'm so out of sorts, because I was only there long enough to not even try and get on their time schedule. I was there for 72 hours, so I just, stayed up all night, slept during the day. So here I am, a zombie trying to get to the second flight, missed the flight, and now I'm the loser. I'm one of those guys in line at the customer service, British Airways customer. When you walk past these people and you go, "Those poor fuckers." Everyone's pissed. It's a long line. It's not.
I gotta get home.
Oh man, I was that guy.
Yeah.
And then I stayed at some depressing airport hotel that night. And I got home last night, but everything's been kind of like, I was already busy this week, and now everything's been shifted by another day. And anyways, I'm happy to be home. Like I said, I'm working more and more. Happy to be working, but I'm kind of like rethinking stuff, going, fuck, man. Like,
yeah. How old are you now?
I'm 48.
Yeah.
And and I've been touring since I said 15, but I've been technically touring since I was 16. And I was telling my daughter the other day, because this is the first time in a year and a half that I've been gone for more than 24 hours, right? I was gone for a week, and they're used to me being gone all the time.
Yeah.
But it was really the family. I've got 4 kids, all living under the same roof still, right? And so being gone for a week, everyone kind of felt it, with Dad being out of the house for more than 5 minutes, because Dad's been sitting around the house not doing shit for the last year and a half. Like, God, get out of here already. But then I left, and everyone's like, holy, God, where'd he go? So I'm gone for a week. I come back, and I was talking with my daughter, and I told my daughter, people used to joke with me when I was 17, going, oh, man, Freese is going to be retired by the time he's 35. Oh, he's going to retire because he's working so hard now. But I still have to work. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it's not, I'm doing well for myself, but it's not like I'm sitting on some fortune where I could just not work. Plus, what I like doing, what I do, I love doing. So it's not like, I'm not counting the days till I can start, going fishing and stop working the jackhammer. Yeah. It's like, fuck, I love playing. So if anything, I might pick and choose a little bit more as far as how long I want to be gone for and this and that. But, I'm going to play till the day I die, of course, even if it's, tinkering behind some jazz combo.
Well, it's funny. You were on in 2014, and it was really
It was the very beginning of the thing.
I started it, it's been 10 and a half years, but you were one of the inspirations of having great drummers and letting people understand that there are a ton of great drummers out there that weren't in on the songwriting and didn't get cut in on that kind of money. So it was straight up grind for drummers forever.
Yep.
And I really love to get that out there, because people they don't know how the business works. So they're like, well, Josh plays with Sting, so he's got like $5 million. It's like, really? But it is funny, in that year and a half, were you freaking out a little bit? Like, I don't know what kind of money you've made all your life. You've been a successful, amazing drummer, but were you like, holy shit, I got no money coming in?
One thing that I noticed starting about 5 years ago is when I really started to notice it is, accumulatively over the years, even though there were small pieces of things, I've worked on so many hundreds of records.
Right.
And I've had, not a lot, but I've had some co-writes on things. And there's some kind of there's some coalitions and organizations out there now that are somehow looking out for studio musicians, where they get a tiny sliver of certain things from digital streaming here and there. So sometimes I get these weird mailbox checks, and I go, why the hell am I getting this? I'm not supposed to getting residuals on this Evanescence record that I played on 20 years ago. Why are they paying me? Well, I'm not going to go hunt them down and give it back. If they want it back. Anyways, but point being, I've gotten to a place where I am actually making some decent mailbox money. And I noticed that about 4 or 5 years ago, going, hey man, I'm making pretty good money, even if I wasn't on the road and wasn't having to take gigs. This is pretty cool. So anyways, like I said, that's been a snowball thing of doing this professionally for 30 some years, of getting to the point where it looks decent. I'm not getting, I'm not co-writing songs on U2 albums.
Right.
Kind of money, but all the tiny little pieces add up to something. So that between kind of being smart with the money that I've made and the mailbox stuff, and we were fine. We were okay, and I felt really grateful for that, because I know a lot of great musicians and artists. I know some visual artists and painters that have gone through a really, they were doing it for a living, which is great.
Yeah.
But barely kind of scraping by, paying rent, but barely paying rent. And then when this thing went down, it was really tough for most of the arts community.
Yeah.
At
and
large. Comedians
too.
For comedians, for everybody, doing gigs, man. So it's like the fact that we were did okay, I was really happy about. My wife started doing real estate a couple years ago, kind of for fun.
Amazing,
Because she's a hustler.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And it's almost like she had a crystal ball. Like in 2020, Josh is not going to work for the first time ever. You know? And starting like 2018, she started selling some houses. So she's kind of doing okay too. She's bringing in money. I'm like, hey, babe, this is great. There's a lot more than. Since I met her, she's working at some diner in Long Beach,
And those fucking mid-centuries in Long Beach are going for crazy money now. I was
absolutely.
Like, they're $1 million now. And, 4 years ago, they were $400,000 for those mid-centuries in there, you know?
Absolutely. And we have a place. I've had a house for about 10 years out in Palm Springs. So we spent a lot of time out there. And,
which area? North or south?
South Palm Springs.
Oh, south is the best. No wind.
No, dude, you know what's funny about that?
Yeah.
I wasn't hip to the no wind thing.
Oh.
Until what it was, Mark Mothersbaugh from Devo had a house in Palm Springs like 15 years ago, right? He still has one, but he moved. But his first place was this great mid-century modern place, but in North Palm Springs. And I didn't know a lot about Palm Springs at the time, but we'd go there and stay there all the time, right?
Yeah.
And I remember one time, my wife's, some friends of ours that are out there that live in South Palm Springs, they said, we go stay in. And we told them the address, and they go, oh, North Palm Springs. I went, oh, what's wrong with that? They go, it's windy there. I'm like, it is?
Yeah.
That night we went back to the house. All I could hear was fucking
my
wind.
God.
I'm like, oh my God, it's crazy up there.
Oh.
It's insane. But
Dude.
not until those people said it that day did I realize, dude, this is insanity. Anyways, yeah, so.
You know how I know?
Yeah, how do you know?
I was looking for a house out there all this year. And
have my chick show you some houses.
Oh yeah. So
did you get to a place yet?
No. Okay. But here's what happened. I was out there and I knew exactly what I wanted. Like I love these Kreisels and stuff. I'm way into architecture, and so they're showing me one at North Palm Springs in the Racket Club, that old beat up Racket Club.
Right. And there's cool areas up there.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah,
so I get out of the car and it's like hurricane just and the agent's out there, he's like, yeah, let's get inside. And I'm like, fuck, what the fuck?
Hold on to something.
Yeah, I got my dog. She's like blown like a tumbleweed.
Yeah. Hold on to the railing.
We get in and I go, this ain't right. And so then I go, I'm going to go look at this other one up in Canyon View Estates up there. It's like these Kreisel townhouses.
Okay.
Dude, South Palm Springs behind the Ace or whatever.
Yeah.
We get in there. I open the door. It's like the greatest day ever. And I'm like, what's going on here? So I see the real estate agent. I go, hey, dude, where'd that wind go? And he goes, oh, there's no wind up here. Yeah, you don't want to be living down there. It's a tornado all the time. And I was like, whoa.
It's pretty crazy,
if you didn't know that, you'd buy a joint. And after a month, you'd be like, I got to get the fuck out of here.
Dude, I'm telling you, it's like we live just even a little bit further south of where the Ace is.
Yeah.
Right off the 111, Palm Canyon Drive.
Yeah.
And for me, the Palm Springs thing's interesting because when I was a kid growing up in Orange County, my family would go there once in a while. And in the 80s, I went through a weird time in the 80s where it was real, like, kind of like Girls Gone Wild, like Fort Lauderdale, trashy spring break shit,
Yeah.
Because it was kind of like in the 50s and 60s, it was really cool. And that's where all the, the Rat Pack went on vacation and hung out there.
Oh, yeah. Elvis is,
Elvis, Walt Disney had a killer spread. Buddy Rich had a killer house.
Yeah, Buddy Rich, dude.
Right?
Yeah.
And so it was really cool. And then in the 80s, I went through, like I said, some weird, like, white, trashy kind of jock era. And I remember that's what I remember when I was a kid, going there once in a while.
Yeah.
And then I didn't go there for years. And then I ended up at the Parker Hotel.
Oh, killer.
With Nine Inch Nails.
Yeah.
About 15 years ago. Because we were doing like a fan club, like a small show at like the Casino Morongo.
Oh yeah, Morongo's great. Yeah.
I mean, Trent just did like a 1,200 seat show for like fan club only. Anyways, we were staying at the Park Hotel. I'm like, God, this is pretty. Palm Springs is kind of cool. And I realized, and this is about 15 years ago. And they were kind of like, it was coming back around into sort of being chic again, and kind of was cleaned up a bit, and safer and hipper and whatever. And
really, I think it had a lot to do with Coachella coming in there.
Absolutely.
And once Coachella came in, and there was some real money starting to happen as far as like pumping it in there. And of course, the gays, which is great. Whenever you got a massive amount of gays, they're going to clean shit up, have great art, great food. And then you got guys like Ron Burkle, the billionaire, coming in going, I'll take all of this. When Burkle's buying something, he's going to make it cool because he's way into music and hip shit. So you're like, oh, this shit's changing. Yep. And unfortunately, the pandemic shot that shit double in price because pre-pandemic you could still get in there for about $400.
Well, you know what's crazy? I thought it would be the opposite. I thought it'd be like, okay, pandemic's hit, everyone's hurting, prices are going to drop.
Yeah.
My wife's like, no, places have never been more expensive.
It's
I'm
crazy.
Like, huh?
Yeah.
It's crazy, right? So anyways, yeah. So around the time that I went down and kind of, quote unquote, rediscovered it, we went out to the Parker and stayed there, my wife and I, after that tour with Nails was done. And then someone that I know that works with Mark Mothersbaugh, you know, like I was calling to talk to him one day, and like the secretary that answered the phone in the studio, I said, oh, I'm coming back from Palm Springs. She goes, Mark just got a place up there. He'll let you stay out there whenever you want. I go, really?
Wow.
Yeah, just ask him for the keys. So we started going out so much to Mothersbaugh's place. He's like, yeah, just, make sure, bring the mail in and make sure the place isn't burnt down,
Yeah,
I'm like, great.
yeah.
I started going out there so often, and we kind of got to know Palm Springs. I started thinking like his place is my place. Like I'd call him and go, hey, we're going to go out there for Thanksgiving. And he'd say, well, actually, I'm going to be out there with my family. And I'd be like, why? How dare you come to your own house?
Dude, can't you bump
That's
it?
my place, man.
Yeah.
And then I told him, I go, my wife and I might buy a place out here. And he goes, how about you just buy my place and I'll borrow the keys from you all the time?
Whoa, really? That's cool.
No, but anyways, we ended up buying a place in South Palm Springs. And Mark since moved, got kind of a cooler pal, but not too far south, still kind of in that area, like the old Las Palmas or Fishes Las Palmas area.
Yeah. You got a mid-century there?
Yeah. It's cool.
Who was the architect, you know?
It's cool.
Yeah. Whatever. But
Billy Barty.
Yeah. Is it all glass or is it flat roof or?
You know what's interesting about it is it's hard to explain. Sometimes I just say yes because it's hard to kind of go into the whole thing. I don't know if we'll bore everyone to death here.
Oh, yeah.
But it was mid-century, and then people that bought it like in the 90s or something turned it into almost like this kind of like deserty sort of, I'm not going to say Santa Fe style because that's the opposite direction, but almost more like desert oasis, like hacienda kind of looking thing. When you walk in, all the angles are mid-century modern, but the outside they fucked with it.
Wow!
But it looks cool.
Yeah.
It looks cool. It's, trust me. I wouldn't want to have it if it was a bummer. It's a great place.
Yeah.
It's on a golf course, but I've never swung a golf club in my life.
Yeah.
I've got a golf cart. I cruise around. My dad's like, you're a weird guy, Josh. You got a house on a golf course. You got a golf cart, but you don't play golf. Just do donuts. Me and the kids just take out and do fucking donuts on the green.
Your dad thinks that you're a weird guy because of that.
No, he's just goofing around one day. And, of course, I still haven't. But over the pandemic, I was like, my son and I are like, let's take golf lessons. I still haven't. I played golf like twice when I was 18.
Yeah.
But I'll probably get into it, and then that's all I want to do. So.
When you fire up the gigs with Sting, you guys, I just saw you play in Greece, that amazing like old ruins arena.
Yeah.
What's that place called?
You know what? It's got like 3 different names.
Right.
And when I was trying to find it, when I posted a picture of my drums on the other day, I'm like, wait, what place is this? I'm supposed to know. I'm embarrassed that I can't rattle off exactly what it is, but it's some like 2,500-year-old fucking ancient Greek ruins. I kept on making jokes where I came in. I go, the same guys that did Epcot Center did this place. And I'd make sure some people are like within earshot.
Oh, yeah.
And I'd looked at Sting's guitar player and go, this place has been here for a while. They built this in like 83, I think,
I did the same shit at the Liberty Bell. I'd go, what a piece of shit. It's got a crack in it.
Come on, man.
I mean, just fix it,
update this motherfucker,
Get a
man.
metallurgist in here, and people around like, how dare you, I love pushing buttons like
speaking
that.
of Liberty Bell, let's segue into the thing that I was talking to you about. With my son was playing me that Burr shit from the famous Philly rant.
Oh yeah. So when I started comedy, which is I guess I'm coming down onto the how many years I've been doing it now? 11 years. This is is this the 12th year? Hold on, I'm fucking confused. And I keep saying 10 years, but it's not. It's
You're like, what's the exact day I started getting really funny?
Here it is. This is 12 years I've been going. Yeah.
Wow.
So a year in, this guy asked me to open for him out in Arizona, and he goes, "Hey, who's your favorite comedian?" We were in a hotel room getting ready for the gig, and I go, "Oh man, I love Pryor. I love Bill Hicks. I love Chappelle."
Yeah.
I go, "Who do you love?" And he goes, "Oh man, I love Bill Burr." And I go, "I haven't heard of him." And he goes, "Oh yeah, watch this." And he fires up the Philly rant, right? And I was like, oh my God, this is fucking crazy.
Gnarly.
Right?
It's the gnarliest shit I've ever heard. And I'm like, we're driving. I remember where I was. We spent a lot of time last year out in the desert during the lockdown, right?
Yeah, same here.
My son and I were driving out to Joshua Tree for the day to go, kick around out there. And I'll never forget, man, being out there driving through Joshua Tree, and he's playing me the shit. My jaw is dropped. And I'm like, holy shit. Yeah. And just when you think it can't get gnarlier, he doubles down. It gets fucking gnarlier.
9 more minutes.
Yeah.
You're only sports stars, a fake one on fucking a movie screen. Rocky, whatever.
But then he goes, and I hope you all get carjacked and fucking, your fucking dicks ripped off and shoved down your fucking throats by gangmen. And you're like, holy, get AIDS and die. And you're like, holy fuck, man, just going for it.
Yeah.
He became, I already was a fan before that, but kind of became my hero.
Yeah, man.
That. And then, of course, there's things you can listen to where he's been on podcasts talking about that.
Yeah,
of course, people have hit him up for years, I'm sure, about it. He's probably sick and tired of talking about it.
But, it was a turning point for his career, 100%.
Well, and it was cool because he said, some of the people that were there, explains the conditions they were in, being some weird sporting event or something. And it had been going on forever, and everyone's getting drunk and rowdy and pissed off. And he was just talking about, there were some younger comedians going out, and one kid that was from there that came out, his family was there, and the audience just kind of that
was the older guy, Dom Irera. He was a legend, and they're booing Dom Irera, and he's like, "You're gonna boo Dom Irera? Really? You fucking guy, a legend?"
Yeah, he said by the time he got out there, he was just he wasn't gonna put up with any shit.
Well, you just know what you're going into. It's like when I open for bands, it's like
that's gotta be crazy.
Yeah,
right?
It is kind of crazy. I did a run with Alice in Chains, and it was pretty goddamn good. But I talked to some guys that have opened for bands, and it's been brutal. Like opening for Slayer, like what?
Forget about it.
Yeah, like what are you doing?
Dude, even bands opening for bands. I remember in '89 seeing Metallica on the Justice for All tour.
Great.
Irvine Meadows.
Queensryche open?
No.
Well, we had Queensryche.
Dude, we have Faith No More.
Whoa.
And they got booed the fuck off stage.
Whoa. Prince got booed off at the Stones.
Right.
Yeah.
But I remember being 16. It's right before. So Faith No More, they already had a record out, right? With the other singer. And
yeah. Chuck Mosley,
right. But this is the record. They'd been touring on it, but it's right before it really broke.
Yeah.
The Real Thing record with the song Epic, right? This is probably a month before that song broke, but that record had been out for a while, and they were pushing it. Not a lot was happening.
Yeah.
And I was in high school. My friends and I go to see Metallica, and we're going, dude, this band's actually pretty cool. We'd heard of them, didn't know much about them. This band's cool, but man, they don't deserve this. People are booing the fuck out of them, right? Felt horrible. Next day, I come up, I'm living in Orange County. I come up to Zildjian, back when I played Zildjian Cymbals, and I walk in pretty early, 10 a.m. after being at a concert down in Irvine the night before, late at night. And I'm in there, and there's a dude with a backwards baseball hat on and long dreads with a roadie-looking dude next to him, and they're leaving, and they go, "Hey, Josh, how's it going?" I go, "Good." They go, "Yeah, you look a little tired." I went, "Well, I went out last night, and I saw Metallica last night at Irvine Meadows," and they all kind of went, "Oh," and they look at their buddy standing there, and they go, "This is Mike. He plays drums in Faith No More," and I went, "Dude, that was not okay.
Yeah,
that was fucked up, and I was on your side, man, and that was totally not okay." And I've been friends with Mike ever since, but that's the first time I met Mike Borden, legendary drummer. But he's like, "Yeah, it doesn't matter who's going out there open for Metallica. If you're not Metallica, they're gonna tear you apart."
Well, there was that era where you just booed the opener. You know what I mean? Nobody. And the perfect example was I opened for Rival Sons a couple years ago at the Fillmore.
Right.
And, Bob Weir's there from The Dead, and I love The Dead now. I'm that age,
Dude, I just became a Dead fan about 3 years ago. We'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah.
I spent my whole life you're programmed to hate the Grateful Dead.
Oh, especially.
And you're wait a second.
Especially when you and I were young,
oh my God,
It'd be oh my God.
You could not admit that. Okay,
but
anyways.
I went on, and they were booing me the whole time, and I had my kind of mini Bill Burr moment where I just stayed in it. And I was like, "Fuck you guys." One guy said, "Go home." And I said, this one cracked it open. I go, "I am home, man. You need to go home. There's no way you could afford it here. Head back to Vallejo." And, so because I know the local kind of armpits. And just started laying into them and then turned it around. And so I saw the guys after. It was hilarious. I was getting on the bus, and they were out front, and they're like, "Hey, man, hey, we're the guys booing, and I go, "Yeah, why the fuck were you guys booing? You know, what are you doing?" And they were old tumbleweed dudes, and they're like, "We don't know." It was like old Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah.
You just boo the opener from where when we grew up.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
Idiot. The band brought me on.
God.
You know, it's like booing their friend.
Yeah.
It's funny, man. How great was that Justice tour?
It was great.
I think it's the best.
It was so good. I actually just recently rebought that record, like on iTunes or whatever. I was talking about it with someone the other day, and we were talking about the opening track, Blackin'.
Oh, Blackin'. Oh, my God.
And we're like, dude, that's the Metallica that I liked.
Yeah, yes,
you know
I mean? Yeah.
Even if there is no bass guitar on the record.
I don't need no bass on there, dude. It's perfect. It's perfect. That record's perfect.
It's all guitar, and Lars is like clicky kick drum. It sounds like he's like, super glued, silver dollars to the kick drum head or something.
Oh, that's what they did back in the day, remember?
Supposedly.
Get that ticking.
The Metallica kick drum sound. I mean, the Pantera kick drum sound.
Yeah.
But, anyways, that was great, man. Seeing them at that time, and I don't know if I've seen them since, to be honest.
Yeah, really?
No. I've known Rob. I used to play in bands with Robert Trujillo. Yeah. I mean, I made a Suicidal Tendencies record way back when, and I played. He and Mike Muir had an offshoot band called Infectious Grooves.
I remember it.
Yeah. And played with them for a little while. But so, anyways, Robert's great, and it's fun to see him doing what he's doing now.
Oh man,
being the guy in Metallica.
Do you? When Sting calls you up, do you guys actually rehearse, or do you, at this point, do you know it?
Well, for instance, when I went out to Greece to play with him last week, we've played once in the last year and a half, right? We did a gig in May, and it wasn't even a real gig. It was like in New York in an empty venue with cameramen with masks on. It's just weird, something that was streamed or something. So we rehearsed for 2 days before that, played the gig, and then 4 months later, this gig I did with the 3 nights in Greece, no rehearsals.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And what happened is I already had some Devo obligations, and Devo hadn't played in a while, and I was really looking forward to these gigs we were doing. We played Riot Fest in Chicago, Punk Rock Bowling in Vegas, the YouTube Theater, the new theater that's attached to the SoFi. So I told them a long time ago, hey, I'm busy these dates. Anyways, they got another drummer. He had one show in Italy, and then these 3 in Greece. They got a friend from New York to fill in for the one show, and they rehearsed with him for a day.
Right.
But then I flew in. I just, I had to whatever. It's like riding a bike.
Yeah.
It's like, I just hope this thing doesn't change the arrangements too much. We've been known to do, even the day of the gig. I'm like, you know what? We're going to cut the outro to
Old Jazzy
Driven to Tears. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what's funny, man? Segueing into this, the fact that he has a great kind of let's fly by the seat of our pants vibe sometimes, where he knows that if there's a reason why you're there, and part of why you're there, meaning when I say you're there, I mean me or whatever musicians he's surrounding himself with, that they're going to be ready to turn on a dime.
Love it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And sometimes it's great and sometimes it's horrible.
But it still keeps you alive, though. But it keeps you alive.
I don't mean the band's horrible. I mean, sometimes it's terrifying.
Yeah.
And sometimes God, I wish he would settle on an ending to that song. We fucking change. We don't end it ever the same twice. It always changes.
Yeah.
I got to be watching him, and and if you don't read his mind, you're in trouble. And not really in trouble, but it's like, what I mean? It's like you don't want to be the one guy not reading his mind.
Right.
You know what I mean? And everyone else is like, yeah, I know where he's going to go with this. He's just going to slow it down, do a little retard at the very end. We know what's going to happen. If you're not doing it, everyone listening to you like, dude, come on, what's your problem? And you're like, well, sorry, I wasn't reading.
I'm not a mind reader.
Right. One of the first thing I ever did live with him ever, because I did some playing with him back in 2005.
The Roxy?
Stop. Well, funny. That was the first gig we did. But the day before that little Roxy gig in 2005, we played on the Jimmy Kimmel Show. And right before walking out to play on television, he says, hey, the intro to Spirits in the Material World? I said, yeah. He goes,
God.
I know. Getting to play songs like that is so much fun. Anyways, he goes, yeah, we're going to cut it down. You know how it's normally 16 bars? We're going to just do 8 bars, then I'll start in on the vocal. Great, okay. And I'm thinking, wow, okay, he's telling me this as we're about to walk out on stage.
Right.
On live television for the first time ever. Okay.
Yeah.
So I can do that. I can cut it in half, no problem. So then we get on stage. The guy's giving us the countdown. The guy with the headset, the clipboard. Okay, 4, 3, ladies and gentlemen, Sting. We start playing the song. And after 8 bars, I'm ready to come down to the side stick, whatever. He's still out on the stage, smiling around. I go, I guess we're not going to do 8 bars. I guess it's back to 16 bars. And you just have to you just have to be on the moment.
Whoa.
Just in the moment and watching and just trying to predict where he's going to be. And I go, he's nowhere near that microphone. So I doubt we're starting the verse right this minute.
Yeah.
It'll probably be one more round, But once again, having kind of the heart of a jazz musician, he likes the whole like, let's just see what happens when we get out there.
Yeah. I love that too. And that goes
You know what I mean?
back to the Dead. It's funny because after I hated the Dead growing up like you know, it's like dirty hippies.
Yeah.
Hey,
You're not allowed to say that you like the Dead. All
No.
your punk rock friends are like, dude, what is wrong with you? You
Yeah.
know?
And, you
Like,
know,
I had a shirt that was like looked like a Grateful Dead shirt, and it just said, "I'll be grateful when they're dead."
Oh.
I used to wear when I was 17. I was always so punk.
Yeah.
You know?
So dumb, right? But I'm glad I didn't like all the music growing up because we'd be out of music.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, I saw them and do the Fare Thee Well, the last shows, and then I've been seeing a lot of Dead & Co. over the years now.
I've been wanting to see that.
Oh, man, it's so good. What I took from it was, in my comedy, was I'm not going to be so rigid
Right.
anymore. Like, this is the set.
Right.
So I started
See what
like,
happens when you get out there.
comedy
Feel it out,
jam,
right? Yeah.
And you get lost, and sometimes you're like, "Fuck, did I do this joke already?" And you start to freak out. You're looking at the fans, and you're going like, "Oh, usually they're laughing right here. I think I did this already."
Yeah.
Then I'll ask them, "Did I already do this?" And they say no, and I go, "Well, why aren't you
That's
laughing?"
kind of funny too.
That shit's funny too, right? So yeah, you know, I love that Sting's into taking chances like that, especially deep into the career, because you could get an old rigid rocker, and they're like,
Right.
the tempo is this, play it exactly that. I'll see you at the gig, and you're
Right.
like, oh, this is going to be no fun.
Right. And, you know, the fact that even, you know, when we talk about it off stage or if we talk about after the set, if we go, oh, man, yeah, that one moment, everything was great. But like even the other night, no rehearsals, everything was great. There was one little moment in King of Pain where he and I were looking at each other and we're like, are we doing in between I'll tell you exactly what it was. Between the second chorus and the bridge, we usually do the 6-bar thing.
Yeah.
And I was listening to live tapes from the gig they did 2 nights before in Italy, seeing how much they changed or tweaked. And they changed the 6-bar thing into like an even 8. It just
Right.
kind of made it was a more logical block of 4 and 4. So I go, oh, I guess we're doing that. So I guess they just did that to make it easier and simpler for the drummer that was filling in that
Oh,
one
yeah,
gig.
'cause it's one gig.
But when it came, we didn't talk about it before, and it came time to the thing, we're looking at each other like, are we doing 6 or 8? And we kind of both fumbled around a minute, and then it finally just it settled in. It was fine, but it was, and afterwards, hey man, sorry about that thing. He goes, oh no, don't sweat it. Like we didn't discuss it. Everything else was great. You know, he's doing these tempo changes, and Roxanne, where in the bridge she takes it to this weird like ska thing, like in double time, and I was catching all that stuff. So. You know, I was on it, but even for being jet lagged, I was playing. It was like 5 a.m. to me in my still in California time. So, but anyways, yeah. Once in a while, so he's prepared to if you fall on your face a little bit, it's okay.
Yeah,
You know what I
that's
mean?
cool.
'Cause
That's
at least
cool.
you're taking chances. And at least
Yeah.
you're not afraid to go take chances with him. I've watched guys that have played with him before. I won't name any names, but I've watched guys that are like not many, but a few where they really want to know exactly what it is. I understand, but it would almost start bothering him. I could tell he'd be like, "Oh man, if you can't hang,
Just figure it out.
come on."
We're just musicians.
Yeah.
We rocking, you
I had
know?
a guy that I remember asking him way too often, like, "What do I play here? What do I play here?" And it was kind of like, and I thought the same thing. It's like, "Well, dude, you should kind of know what to play."
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You should, you know what I mean? You should be confident enough.
Yeah.
And your instinct should be good enough that there's a reason why you're here in this room full of musicians. And you know what I mean? So that being said, I mean, like Dominic Miller, who's played guitar with Sting since, 1990 or 91, he's been with him for 30 years. I mean, he's just got such great feel. He's got such great intuition. And he's worked with Sting so long, he knows exactly what.
Right.
I shouldn't speak too soon. He usually knows exactly what Sting's going to do, you know?
Yeah.
But I mean, he can read his mind, so, you know, and Dominic's just, he's always on it. Just great rhythmic player, great textures, and just like the perfect guitar player to have in your bed. Like, you know what I mean? Really confident in his playing. It's never a question of,
Right.
you know, what, anyways.
What I love about you is you are a huge fan of the people that you're playing with. Like me, if I played with Devo or Sting, and I know that you're back there like, dude, can we play some shit off Ghost in the Machine?
Yeah,
you know?
of
And
course.
just recently, I think one of the greatest Devo records is New Traditionalist, and
yeah.
it's 40-year anniversary. But you know, that record's way, way underrated. But I know as a
Absolutely.
Devo fan, like when you first got into Devo, it would be like if I was in Devo, can we wear the yellow suits?
Yeah.
Can we fucking play shit like, Secret Agent Man?
Oh, yeah.
Can we
Played it the other night.
Yeah. Can we play jerking back and
Yeah,
forth,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know? So that's always amazing. Does Sting ever let you throw in like, hey, can we do something off Ghost in the Machine?
Yeah. You know, as far as long as it's not too much of a bizarre stretch where he's like, I've never played that song live, or people don't like that song. Like, if I name, I'll tell you one that was funny is years ago, actually when I first started playing with them the first round back in 05, I remember saying, dude, let's play Can't Stand Losing You.
Oh, yeah,
you know?
great one.
And he's like,
fucking drilling.
You know, and he wrote the thing, so he's allowed to say whatever he wants, but it made me laugh. He's like, he goes, let's not do that. Well, I never liked that song. I'm like, come on, man, are you crazy? I guess when you're Sting, you've written so many great songs.
But still, it's
you're able to consider that a
one.
not so good song, even though he's written so many fucking good songs.
I love when it drops down too. I can't stand losing you.
Yeah.
You know, it's because it's pumping and then it just drops.
Those records are amazing because the production is so simple. Meaning it's like you're not listening to a wall of guitars. You're not listening to layers of sequences and shit. It's just there's the drums.
Yeah.
There's the guitar. There's the bass. There's the voice.
Yeah.
And it fills up so much space because those guys just lightning in a bottle shit. The fact they found each other and the fact that Sting met Stuart Copeland.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they, they're famous for having butt heads over the years, but it's like, it's because they're both such unique and strong personalities.
Right.
Artistically and musically that it's, it's like, fuck, man. It's like.
Oh, yeah. The thing that made them blew them up.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? That's what happened.
There was so much energy and
Imagine
so much
if there
craziness.
was 2 more Larses and 2 more Hetfields in a band. It'd be fucking long over.
Yeah, yeah.
You know?
They need a lot more therapy, I'll tell you that.
It's funny talking to you about, doing that Grease venue because, Bill and I just did Red Rocks. Bill did
So
Red Rocks.
great.
I fucking opened,
Red Rocks is the best.
But we were in there as we were walking by. I saw the Police photo there.
Yeah.
They played there on the reunion. How many times have you played Red Rocks? And what is it to you? I know to me, when I get to a legendary venue, I always wanted to do my whole life, like the LA Forum.
Yeah.
What's
I've got a good story about Red Rocks because I've played there probably a half dozen times, probably 6, 7, 8 times, and but I toured already for almost 15 years before I ever played there. So I spent a long time touring and had never played Red Rocks until. I'll tell you exactly when it was. It was 2004.
Yeah.
And it was the last show of basically a year's worth of touring with a Perfect Circle.
Wow.
Right? So we've been on the road. We've done the States twice already or 3 times. We've been to Europe. We've been to Australia. We've been to Japan. We've been all over the fucking place. South America. It was the last. Now everyone's tired. Everyone wants to go home. It's been a successful tour. But we had never played here at this venue. I think Maynard had probably played there with Tool before, but
right.
This band had never played there. I'd never played there before. And as you know, when you first walk out, I mean, it's like takes your breath away,
Look at
man.
that, dude, goosebumps right there. Look at that right
there you
now.
go.
It doesn't go away.
It's almost overwhelming because the audience goes
straight up. It's crazy.
And they're almost like hanging right. Actually, remind me to tell you the Sublime Red Rock story after this.
Yeah.
Maybe I shouldn't.
Yeah.
Anyways, but my point is, it's funny. The night before the Red Rocks gig, Perfect Circle played it was either Boulder or Colorado Springs.
Right,
Doesn't really matter. We played someplace an hour and a half away from Denver, and it was kind of a depressing little theater. Right? It was like a fill-in date.
Yeah.
Like we were playing here, and then you got a night off before the last show in Denver. Throw us on that gig at that 2,000-seat old Veterans Hall or something in fucking Boulder.
Old crusty cavern.
Yeah, and I was like, dude, if this was the last night of the tour, it'd be really depressing to end on this note.
Right.
But we played the show, sold out. There was kind of like, the clouds were kind of low that night. So literally, I remember looking out and it looked like faces just went up into the sky.
Yeah.
And just disappeared. Like it was just this never ending. And it was, as goofy as it sounds, it was like a magical moment of I'm playing and going, this is so cool, man.
Oh my God.
It was almost like a spiritual kind of like.
It is spiritual.
It was really fucking cool.
I don't care what anybody says, man. It is, you walk out there and you just go like, I mean, from the day you see Sunday Bloody Sunday as a kid on MTV, you're like,
where's that?
You're like, what is that?
Right.
You know what I mean? And then there's no Google to be like, where did they do the video?
Sure.
So then you're, over the years, you're like, that's a cool
Gotta hear it
video.
from a friend.
Yeah,
maybe.
and they go, oh, that's a venue out somewhere in America. You're like, where? You know? And then as you start to find out the history of the fucking place, like I got there and it was exact to the first time I went to Disneyland, and you are an old Disneyland head, you know. Oh shit! You know, I'm at Disneyland. The stage came up from underground.
Yeah.
So here I am at Red Rocks. Like I'm looking at the blueprints now.
Sure.
Oh fuck! They came down on horse and carriage back in the old days.
Yeah.
Oh, there was just dirt seats. There was no roof. There was no stage. It's like fucking. I was taking everything in like a full addiction. I climbed to the top of the rocks, got photos.
It's so cool, right?
Oh man.
Someone died not too long ago, like a couple years ago. A kid like climbing up on the rocks.
Oh, really?
Took a photo like after a show. Yeah, it was really horrible.
Yeah,
not to bring this whole show down.
Someone jumped off the rocks during the Dead back in the day, and they were banned for 5 years, like it was their fault. Crazy.
The Dead was banned for 5 years.
Yeah, Grateful Dead.
I thought you were going to say the guy that jumped was banned. I was like, he's banned for life.
Well, he's definitely he's banned in a fucking coffin.
You know, jeez Louise.
Now, let's get into some other stuff here, because, how about that new Danny Elfman record?
Oh, yeah.
Holy shit.
So cool. I'm really proud of that one. I got to say, you know, played on a lot of records, and I've played on a lot of records that I don't care about ever hearing and that I'm not super proud of necessarily. Ones that I don't think the drums are that interesting on that I've done. So I feel like I could admit that enough that when there's something good or something that I really like, I can, instead of going, oh, shucks, yeah, I don't know, well, Danny Elfman, I go, no, that was fucking great.
Oh, my
It's a
God.
cool record. Yeah. I'm really proud of the drumming I did on it. And we were able to spend a lot of time on it last year because, you know, I was rehearsing with him to play Coachella 2020.
Right.
All of a sudden that just went away like everything else. We're like, oh my God, what now? And he had written these 2 new songs that we were going to play at Coachella. And when everyone's work kind of vanished overnight, including Danny's, you know, stuff that he was going to be working on that year for films and stuff,
right.
You know, he went home and kind of, luckily, wasn't experiencing any writer's block. If anything, he was like really like pouring over with ideas and inspiration out of being frustrated and angry. You know, even last year, just like politically, the stuff that was happening. Forget about the pandemic, but even just everyone, there was a lot of unrest happening. You know, all the George Floyd stuff.
Oh, man.
The election, the pandemic. And so Danny started writing, and man, he just kept going and going. He would send me stuff, and we talked on the phone a lot, and didn't see each other a lot at first because everyone was staying. And I think someone in his family might have asthma or something where they're kind of compromised maybe. So he's being super, super careful about things. And point being, towards the end of the summer, we started kind of getting together, wearing masks in the studio and shit. You know, this is over a year ago now. This is I think we recorded in September. Yeah, September 2020. He owns his own studio, so we had the, you know, luxury of doing it whenever we wanted. Even though he works well with timelines, I've worked with people that have their own studios or whatever, but it's like because there's no clock ticking, you can take forever doing shit. 'Cause there's no, you got to be out Friday by midnight because there's another band. So sometimes that's kind of a burden, you know, and a downfall for people not having that deadline. Anyways, Danny got the shit done, and it was a lot of fun to do, and I'm really bummed actually because he's doing these 2 nights at the whatever stadium, the Nightmare Before Christmas thing that he does. It used to be the Hollywood Bowl.
Right.
And the first night is which he's doing the 29th and the 31st, but the first night, the 29th, is the first night I'm doing a run in Las Vegas with Sting.
Oh,
we're doing these weekends. So they called me to see if I could come do some drumming on the show, but they have rehearsals leading up to it, you know, with an 80-piece orchestra. It's a big thing. It's not just, hey, we'll get together and jam. It's like a big production. So the fact that I'm not around for rehearsals of that first gig, like, I think I'm going to go see it on Halloween. Yeah. But it's going to, like, bum me out and be sitting in the audience being like, I want to be up there fucking playing.
Oh, I'm going to be in Vegas Halloween.
On Halloween?
Yeah, I'm doing gigs for a week straight. 25th through the 30th, 31st. You out there with Sting?
I'm there the 29th.
Oh, yeah, I'm there.
Actually, before that, I'm going to be rehearsing there.
Oh, yeah, I'm there all week. Come to a gig.
Dude, come on.
That'd be great.
Shit.
Come hang at the Comedy Cellar, dude.
Absolutely.
Oh.
I'm going to be out there starting, I think we rehearse out in Vegas somewhere around like the 22nd, 23rd, 24th, 25th, like that week.
Yeah.
The first show is we play the 29th, 30th.
Yeah.
Then I'm home Halloween. Then the next week we play like whatever.
So Sting's doing a residency?
A little mini residency. Yeah, we're doing like 4 weekends in a row.
Cool.
It's actually Wednesday, Friday, Saturday.
Oh, wow.
So Wednesday, Friday, Saturday for about, actually, I think maybe only 3 weeks in a row. And then we're doing the same thing next spring. Like in April, we're doing...
That's cool.
At Caesars, at that nice theater they have there. At Caesars
love
Palace,
it. Yeah, that's great. I can't wait to see you there.
Yeah,
It'll be
so you
great.
gotta come to the gig. I'll come to your gig. It'll be fun, man.
Oh, dude, man.
Yeah.
Let me ask you something about this. GNR dropped a couple new tunes over the last few weeks.
Did they?
Yeah. One's Absurd, and the other one was called
The song's called Absurd? Or?
Yeah.
Oh, you were saying it was absurd.
Yeah. One of them's absurd. No, absurd. But you should hear it. It kind of sounds a little Devo-ish. It sounds like
Really?
ha, 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 ha.
Really?
Yeah, peekaboo.
Peekaboo.
Yeah.
I love that song.
Oh, are you kidding me? Come on.
That song's terrifying.
I was wondering, though, since you haven't heard them, you wouldn't know, because they're old tracks, and I was wondering maybe it was something you played on.
Possibly.
I know, right?
But, I mean, in the end, though, most of my the only recording, I think, that exists of me playing drums with GNR was a song that was used for a film.
Oh, okay.
About a year before the Chinese Democracy album came out. It's a song called "Oh My God."
Oh yeah,
is
I
the
know
name
that
of the
one.
track.
Yep.
And I played drums on that. But when I left Axl's situation there, he got a new drummer. And to make him feel more of a part of the whole thing,
Of course.
He had him redo the drums. My feelings weren't hurt. It
Not at
made
all.
sense to me. I didn't care. But the interesting part is that, and I'd hear rumors about this, but then you can see online, like Brain talking. Brain was the drummer.
yeah,
Sam
I love
Francisco,
Brain.
good old
Yeah.
Bay Area boy,
Yeah.
right? Brain tells a story, and I'd heard about it, but not until I saw him interviewed about it when I went, oh my God, this is true. Which is, I guess when I left, like they hired like a transcriber that worked for like Sony Pictures that did all the scores for the movie, their movies or whatever. And Axel's like, I really like what Josh played, but I want your flavor on it, So had some guy like write out every last note that I
Charted
played.
it out?
And Brain like redid the drums note for note.
Whoa, like that old Ozzy Sharon did on the first two Ozzy records. Remember that?
So I'm like, okay, cool. But for me, the thing I take away from my time spent with Axl that I'm proud of, and kind of in a funny way, and I'll explain why, is I wrote the song Chinese Democracy.
Really?
Yeah, I wrote the music, and Axl wrote the lyrics and the melody.
Whoa.
But still to this day, I'll walk into a room of people. Sometimes it's people I don't even know. I'll be backstage at a gig, and some people are talking really animated about something. I go, what are you guys talking about? They go, oh, dude, we're talking about Chinese Democracy. And I go, I wrote Chinese Democracy.
Whoa.
They go, huh? Like the whole record? I go, no, the title track.
I never knew that.
It's the only thing that I wrote on that record. Is I wrote the
Whoa.
song.
So there's a little mailbox money.
Yeah, a little
Yeah,
bit. Of
yeah.
course, it came out right when records weren't selling anymore.
Crazy, right?
I wish it came out in 1987 and not 2007.
Oh my God, right?
Whatever the fuck.
You'd have a third Palm Springs house.
Yeah, exactly. But anyways, I like that I've got that co-write on that record, and it's that track. It's not like, well, it's track number 8 or something.
No, it's the title track.
Yeah. And when they started doing gigs again with Slash and Duff, it might be the only song
Yeah, they were
from
playing
the
that.
new quote-unquote Guns N' Roses era. And I saw Axl. I hadn't seen him in many, many years. I saw him the year that they played Coachella. The Vandals got thrown a sympathy bone from Paul Tollett, who we've been friends with for a long time. Anyways, long story longer, I ran into Axl over the weekend there, and he goes, hey, man, we're playing your song. We're playing your song during the set.
Wow.
We're playing Chinese Democracy. I'm like, oh, that's cool.
Wow.
And then he's like, dude, you got to come out. This is right when they first started doing the reunion shows.
Of course.
You got to come out and guest on something. I'm like, everyone in your band has my phone number.
Yeah.
Slash's got it. Duff's got it.
Yeah.
Frank, your drummer's got it. Melissa's got it. Everyone has my, and I never heard from him. And that's okay. You can call me this afternoon. I mean, that's what's fun about what we do.
Oh my God, right?
Is the optimism of my phone it might not ring for weeks or months with anything special. Or I might get a call in 5 minutes saying, dude, fucking David Bowie just came back to life and he wants you to play drums. Or whatever.
That's
what I
just
mean?
crazy, right?
Or can you fly out, Axl's sending a helicopter for you right now. Will you come do this thing tonight in Vegas? Or whatever. I mean, it's like that not knowing what's possibly around the corner is can be exciting.
Well,
You know what I
that
mean?
is from staying in it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like a lot of people would be like, "Oh, dude, man, I can't believe you got Stone Gossard on your podcast." And I was like, "Well, I mean, yeah, it was."
Did Stone come on?
Yeah.
You know, Stone's one of my best friends.
I know. That's why.
Like one of my best friends. I don't say that loosely. Like If I was in jail, I
Yeah.
could call Stoney. He'd come bail me out, and he would never say a word to anybody. He's like a fucking brother to me.
I love that
And he's
guy.
putting on my record.
I know. That's what we're going to get into.
But yeah,
But
I love Stone.
I love that guy, you know. But my point is, you know, I booked those guys when I was a kid at the Omni, you know, back when I was, back when I booking Zappa, you know, fucking shampoo horns and shit. Anyway, I booked them, Mookie Blaylock and Alice in Chains, and here I am, fucking 30 years later, talking to the guy. But that's because you stay in. You don't ever tap out. It is who you are, and it is what you do. You play drums. You're one of the greatest, and I've had all the greats on here. I mean, all of them. Vinny, you. You know, I just had Matt Chamberlain on.
Oh, great.
Yeah, he's the one that hooked up the Stone. But I've had all the great. I've had them all. I mean, I'm about to have Carmine on.
Well, really?
Here's the big thing.
Wow.
Me and Burr were talking.
Okay.
And everybody talks this forever. Is it Carmine Appice or a piece?
Dude, I had this conversation on a plane with someone about a month ago. Look at that. And the joke is, supposedly him and his brother Vinny pronounce it differently. I forget which one does which. It's like Carmine Appice and Vinny Appice. Or it's Vinny Appice and Carmine. That's what I think it's Carmine Appice and Vinny Appice.
I love it.
And I could be making all this up, and the brothers could be like, no, bullshit, dude. We both say Appice.
Yeah.
But I've heard it's Carmine Appice, Vinny Appice.
You know, that guy...
We need to clear that. We need to get to the bottom of that shit.
Yeah, let's do that.
On.
That guy co-wrote Young Turks and Do You Think I'm Sexy? Yeah. Can you believe that? That's some mailbox money.
Well, Do You Think
I
I'm
love
Sexy?
Young Turks.
Yeah, Young Turks is great.
I love it.
I think that record's called Tonight I'm Yours.
That's it.
And I remember... I was probably 9 or 10 years old when it came out.
Yeah.
But I remember getting the LP for... This is one thing I remember. I remember getting the LP like from my parents... for like my birthday, and then one of the 6 kids that came to my birthday party, whatever, brought it for me. I remember I had 2 copies of it.
Wow!
And I was like, "Whoa, dude, I got 2 copies of the same record. What do I do? What do you do? Can I get my $10 back?
Yeah, right.
Go back to Music Plus and like
exchange it.
Yeah, how does this work? It was the first time I had 2 of something that I thought was really special.
Yeah,
wow, I got 2 albums of the Rod Stewart record, and I only knew it because that song was an MTV hit.
Fucking great song.
Young Turks.
Great song.
I mean, I was sitting in suburban Orange County, and I didn't have any older brothers or cousins hipping me to anything. So most of the music I kind of found on my own.
Yeah.
Or accidentally. I mean, I found Devo because Whip It was everywhere.
Of course.
In 1980. You couldn't get away from it. I remember I had a handheld, like AM radio, the size of like someone's wallet or something, or the size of an iPhone.
Yeah, the transistor radio.
And I walk home from Brookhaven Elementary School in Placentia and listen to the Mighty 690. It was AM 690. And every day, it's almost like I got hip to the fact early on that, they've got like a playlist because they play the same shit every day when I get out at 3:15.
Early payola.
Whip It. Yeah, exactly. But anyways, so Whip It got on my radar just from, walking around with the radio,
I recently had Phil Rudd on.
Dude.
Yeah, dude. No one talks to Phil Rudd. I had Phil Rudd on.
Can I tell you something?
Yeah, please
When you
do.
start talking about the greats,
I
gotta say something real quick because we haven't talked about this guy yet, and we don't have to.
No,
but my favorite dude in the world, hands down, singer, songwriter, guitarist, and I've worked with him for years now. But he's still he's my favorite. I can say he's my favorite. It's Paul Westerberg.
Oh God, yeah. Come on, man.
Paul's my fucking favorite.
Yeah.
He's like a big brother I've had since I was about 19 or 20 that I really look up to. He's like the big brother that you get very little from because he gives very little out to anybody. And then when you get a little, like, Paul said he liked my shoes.
Whoa,
all of a sudden, I'm like, you feel really cool for the rest of the day.
Hell yeah.
Paul said, don't play that hi-hat thing. And then you just want to go home and kill yourself.
Yeah.
You hang on. He's been like this big brother that I admire. He's like the Fonz, cooler than Fonz.
Yeah, he's so cool.
And, but he says to me, out of the blue, when we were doing some replacements gigs about 5-6 years ago, one day he goes, who I think my favorite drummer is? I said, who? He goes, he might have even said Phil Rudd. He might have said the guy from AC/DC.
Yeah. Okay.
Or he might have said Phil Rudd from AC/DC. And I went, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
I get it. He just wants to hear the fucking backbeat, man.
Yeah.
He just wants to hear the groove. He doesn't want to hear a bunch of drum fills and bullshit. Just play the fucking groove, man.
Yeah.
But anyways, he goes, yeah, man, Phil Rudd. And I'll never forget him saying that. And I was laughing, going, of course you love Phil Rudd.
I brought it up because...
When was he on?
He was on about 6 months ago. It was crazy. He was really tough to talk to.
Well...
You know what I mean?
I have a record producer friend who shall remain nameless.
Yeah.
But worked with them.
Yeah.
And this record producer is not fazed by anybody. And he told me when he produced the AC/DC record, he goes, you know what? Phil Rudd, I never quite felt like I could tell him what to do on the drums. It's kind of intimidating.
Yeah.
Intimidating.
Yeah.
And my buddy is not intimidated by many people. So when he said, I was scared of him.
He said some crazy stuff like I go, hey man, like you had Mark Evans in the band for a long time playing bass for the first few albums, and then Cliff Williams comes in, and being a drummer and a bass player, that's that relationship and everything. What was the difference? Because I've played with a bunch of different drummers, and it's always totally different. I go, what was the difference? He goes, well, Cliff was good. It was just like straight up, like, whoa, like just bam, you know what I mean?
Yeah, he seems like he doesn't give a fuck. And
he was great, though. I mean, to talk to that fucking guy, like,
man.
You know what I mean? Early drums, Ringo's his guy.
Is that who? Ringo guy?
Ringo's his guy, and
I figured maybe Charlie would have been his guy, but
well, that's what I was saying.
talking with someone yesterday about
he could play in the Stones.
What's that?
He could take the Stones gig,
You know who's playing with the Stones?
Yeah, Stanley.
Steve
Jordan, yeah.
Which makes sense to me. He's
well, he was in Keith's solo.
He was in Keith's thing, and he produced those Keith Richards, those expensive wino records, and co-wrote a lot of the stuff. He's really tight with Keith. So
I brought Phil up because and Charlie, have you ever sat down like I do that tribute to Bon Scott once a year, and I have a bunch of different drummers come in. Have you ever sat down and played an AC/DC song and went like, well, I can't fucking do this, because you...
No, I can do them all.
Yeah.
No. But I will tell you this, though.
Yeah.
Just because something is simple...
Right.
Does not mean it's easy.
Right.
You know what I mean? But for me also, I do this band that basically, I don't even call it like a real band. It's like we only do like private shows, corporate gigs.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
It used to be called Camp Freddy.
I know, yeah.
It's called Royal Machines now.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
Dave Navarro
Yep.
and Chris Traney, a bunch of cats, Billy Morrison, and we have guest singers sing with us, right?
Yeah.
And one night it'll be, Ozzy will sing a couple songs. He'll come up and do
Billy
Paranoid,
Gibbons. Yeah.
Lana Del Rey. We did a gig the other night with Ann Wilson from Heart.
Oh, she's great.
And she was awesome. We did Black Dog with her.
Ooh.
It was killer out in Vegas. Anyways, my point is there's certain songs that, we've got all these songs to pull from.
Right.
And then sometimes we'll learn, so-and-so wants to sing with us and they want to do Dream On. Like Ann Wilson, there was another one. She wanted to do Dream On by Aerosmith. That's not normally one out of our 60 songs we know. But it's okay, fuck it. You go home and you learn Dream On in an hour. But we do Highway to Hell fairly often.
Right.
And when Highway to Hell is in the set, if we're doing like Sebastian Bach, we'll do like he's a regular sometimes. He'll come up and do like a Skid Row song, then he'll do like an AC/DC song and maybe a Van Halen song or something.
Right.
Whenever we do Highway to Hell, I'm like, this is the fuck. It's just, the drums go, but the song is so badass and the groove's so fun to play, as simple as it is, to do your best to try and make it sound great.
Yeah.
Even though it's simple, you're still fucking... I don't just sit there on autopilot and do it. I'm trying. But,
that feel.
Yeah, the feel,
it's the
man.
Feel.
It's a thing. And Phil has such an interesting, cool feel. Phil and feel.
Yeah.
There you go. But I love playing Highway to Hell. It's in a list of 20 songs. Whenever we do it, I go, that's my favorite one of the night. Like the other night, we played a couple different gigs recently, but one of the songs we played, and it's not super interesting drum wise compared to some of the other songs, but I just love playing it, is Little Devil by The Cult.
Oh yeah, that's a great one. Which is an AC/DC song.
It's the same fucking thing.
Yeah.
It's an AC/DC track basically. I love that shit.
Yeah.
And the older I get, the more I like just that. I say it like this. It's kind of like you grow up, when you're growing up playing your instrument, you want to watch the guys that are the fastest and the most complicated.
Yeah, the Bozios.
It's impressive. And wow, that's great and crazy. Wow, how does he do that? How does he play that? Then for me, you get older, and it's like what I kind of compare it to. I always say it's like the grilled cheese or the cheeseburger analogy of like, do you want a guy to make you some dish with 50 different ingredients? You don't know what the hell you're eating, and you've got all these different tastes contradicting one another. Or do you have the world's greatest fucking grilled cheese sandwich? I'd rather have the world's greatest grilled cheese sandwich.
Totally.
Than some fancy schmancy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what comes down to me music-wise. I feel when someone's doing it for real and doing it really well, it can be super, super simple. And I'll take that over the weedly stuff any day.
Yeah.
Even though it can still be impressive to see a technician, but I've spent enough time watching guys do circus tricks on their instrument, and it's not very adaptable when you go into play with other people. They don't want to hear you showboating the whole time. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And also you've had an opportunity to do that in something like, say, A Perfect Circle and 9 Inch Nails, where you can really fucking turn it on, and thank God you don't have to do that your whole career because you just fall apart, you know?
Right. Well, physically, it's funny. When I worked at 9 Inch Nails, when I first started working with them, I'll never forget, and I was younger then too, it was 15 years ago. I remember more than one, I was going to say one morning, but more than one morning, especially in the beginning, working with them, or at the beginning of a tour, waking up the day after a show and going and having a show that night.
Yeah.
Getting up like at 10 in the morning or 11 in the morning to do a drive or something on the bus. Getting up to put my jacket on, and I go, I can't even put, and I'm only 30 years old at the time, right? I go, I can't even put my jacket on or pick up my fucking backpack right now.
Fuck.
How am I going to do that again tonight at 9 o'clock?
Yeah.
I'm supposed to go out with the sticks and beat the hell out of the drums for 2 hours?
Yeah.
I can't even put my coat on. But, a handful of Advil.
Yeah.
And a gallon of
Adrenaline.
water and, some food in your system, a little bit of stretching. All of a sudden, 10 hours later, like, all right, let's do it. Cool.
Yeah.
You do it again. But there was mornings where I go, I don't know how I'm going to, I can't even put my damn, I feel like a 90-year-old man. I can't put his jacket on. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I was
dude.
like, physically, I don't know if I could do that gig.
I was watching you on the drum cam before you came over here.
All right.
And on the 9 Inch Nails, I think it was Pig or whatever. And I was like, what the fuck?
So fun playing with Trent, man. Playing with
Oh,
Trent
my
was
God.
really special. And the only reason I am not playing with Trent anymore is in 2009, my wife and I, we had 2 young boys, and we were having a third child, which I knew was going to send us into a whole nother universe, stratosphere as far as responsibility and kid stuff. And we've been touring a lot. And at the time, I was the only one in the band with kids. I was the only one that was a father. And the ironic part is, I left, and then Trent got married, and now he has 5 kids.
Oh, shit.
When he was getting up to 4.
Oh, yeah.
When he had 3, I was like, come on, email him, go, dude, one more, join the 4 club. Come on, man.
Yeah.
And now he one up me. He's got 5 kids.
Yeah,
But anyways, at the
Gary
time-
Newman was telling me that. He goes, I hang at Trent's because we have kids, and they just like, here, let the kids play,
Yeah. So anyways, with Trent, I left on good terms because I was like, listen, man, I don't have anything else lined up. I'm not leaving because this band over here offered me more money. It's like, I need to just go home and be a dad for a while. I need to be home for my family. And he was like, hey, man, he's like, that's totally noble, understandable reason.
Yeah.
And, the fact that I wasn't going to go join Lincoln Park for, a raise.
Crazy money,
then he'd like to... He'd probably want to kill me. I'd want to kill me for doing that. But you know what I mean? But I was like, hey, man, I want to go home and just be a dad. He's like, I get it, man.
If he called you, would you do the gig? I mean, would it fuck your body up?
No. I mean, I say no, meaning I could still do it. But like I guess 5 minutes ago I said I couldn't do it. I just have to kind of like adapt differently the way I did do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Pick and choose your moments when you're going to completely pummel the drums. And that's what's funny about 9 Inch Nails too live is that there's plenty of, even though you watch those videos like March of the Pigs or Wish is another good one that's up there of a drum cam with me, is those are pretty exciting, energetic, heavy-hitting songs. But what you don't realize until you go see 9 Inch Nails, or unless you're a really big fan, is how dynamic the stuff can be. So there's all these heavy-hitting things, and then there's really pretty quiet, light things.
Yeah.
And stuff in between. You know what I mean? It's not just strobe lights.
Yeah, it's not Slayer.
It's not Slayer.
Lombardo, I mean, whoa,
God.
you know.
I don't know how he does it.
He said something amazing, and I've heard this over the years, and I've talked to many drummers about it, If you're doing that big Tommy Lee fucking swing your arm all the way up in the sky and down, you're just going to wear everything out.
Well, and that's what I say. People will say to me, dude, it's got to be so hard playing with the Vandals, right? Everything's so fast. I'm like, yeah, but you know what?
It's all right here.
It's sometimes when you have more time to raise your arm up, which you do with 9 Inch Nails. Some of the stuff's fast, but you got just enough time to bring the hands over your head. That's when you're going to fuck yourself up.
Yeah.
And the really fast punk rock shit, it gets your heart rate going, and you break a sweat, but you're not in so much pain the next day because you didn't even have time to raise your hand up past your chin.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
So it's a different kind of animal, but I get it. With the Dave Lombardo thing, it's like
he said, I just keep it all right here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He goes, it's just like I'm eating a meal. It's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've I know Dave a bit. Super cool guy.
He's
as
fucking
you know,
great.
right? And it's funny, man. It's like any band, you've got your favorite songs or whatever. Like, I think on my phone, maybe right now, like songs I bought on iTunes recently because I had to like update a bunch of crap. I don't have Apple Music, but I just, whatever, I buy the shit. I think maybe the only Slayer song I have on my phone right now, but it to me is the best Slayer song is War Ensemble.
Oh, it's
the first
so
track
great.
off, Seasons of the Abyss.
Seasons is the best record.
Yeah. War Ensemble is so fucking badass. And I went to go see Slayer at the LA Coliseum January something, 15th, 1991. It was the day. It was pretty wild. It was the day that Desert Storm officially started. The war was. We declared war.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
We went to war over there.
Yeah.
And
that war that just ended a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, exactly. No, the one before that. But
Yeah.
I was like 16 or 17, and I remember going, and there was a weird vibe in the air, you know. And I actually felt more nervous being at that gig at age 17 than any punk rock show. I was like, punk rock, there's a bit more camaraderie with the fans.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to a Slayer show. I feel like every other guy's got a switchblade on him, and he's not.
yeah.
Every other guy's Richard Ramirez. And
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I actually went to see Slayer once. I've seen them, shitloads of times. But the fans bought shirts, and then when they're in the pit, they lit the shirts on fire and were swinging them over their heads with these shirt fires.
I was going to say at the fucking Justice for All gig I was at Irvine Meadows, a guy that was standing next to me, we were up in the lawn, but at one point during, whatever, Master of Puppets, takes his shirt off, lights on fire. I'm like, dude, chill. Now you got to go buy a $40 t-shirt, asshole.
Oh my God, I'm crazy.
But yeah, Slayer, man, fuck, so great. And Dave, what an animal.
Oh man, his swing is great, like when
animal.
he plays, like Seasons, that song Seasons, down, 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 and then it kicks in, dun, 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 and then it gets that groove going. It's like that galloping. Dun, dun, dun,
Oh yeah.
dun,
No,
dun,
he's
dun,
got a
dun,
very
dun,
distinct feel, man.
Fucking, he plays in the AC/DC thing with us.
Oh, does he?
And he does Let There Be Rock, and he just Let There Be Rock's already fast.
Yeah.
He pops it up
Oh,
a
I'm
couple
sure.
notches, and it's
You're
like,
like, what song is this?
whoa,
Oh yeah, Let There Be Rock. No, did they officially
Yeah, they're done.
end?
Yeah.
No, is it a year from now when we see, hey, it's a
I don't
Slayer
think
reunion?
so. I went to the gigs
At the Forum, right?
Yeah, at the Forum 2 nights, and that was it, man. Because I
wonder
saw
why.
Kerry King a few months after that in Vegas. He lives out there now, and I said, "What do you think? Maybe a couple years?" He's all, "Nope, never." And we'll see.
I wonder
Remember
why.
The Clash. They got offered to do Lollapalooza years and years ago before, and they said no. I think it was something like $3 million back then, which was crazy money. We'll give it $3 million or 13 or whatever, and they said no.
Wow.
I mean, they were like the only band that never fucking.
Two bands that have been asked to reunite over the years, over and over for tons of money, and both have said no over and over. At least one guy has said no.
Zeppelin.
Well, yeah, but I mean, ones where all the original members are still alive are the Talking Heads.
Wow.
David Byrne will not do it.
Right.
And Morrissey and the Smiths.
Right.
They've been offered fuckloads of money to do Smith stuff. Not that I really care the which way, whether they did or didn't. Except the Talking Heads. I like both bands, but I'm not diehards really. But it's like, I sit there and go, God, I mean, why not? I think the other people, I can't speak for the people in the Smiths, but I actually know the other people in the Talking Heads a little bit. I know Chris and Tina a little bit. I know Jerry Harrison, and from what I can tell, they'd be up for it. If David wanted to do it.
Would it be fucking sick?
And actually, our buddy, Danny Elfman with the Oingo Boingo, same thing. He's like, I'm never going to do Oingo Boingo ever.
Yeah.
And part of it is just they want to look forward and not look back, and they don't want to repeat that stuff. And maybe the more they've been asked over the years, the more they don't want to do it. They're like, dude, I'm sick of people asking me about when we do the Talking Heads. I keep saying no, fuck off already.
I know, right?
But
that becomes the hacky
But you're saying
question, too.
The Clash didn't do. They got offered a ton of money and didn't do it.
Yeah,
either?
for when Lollapalooza was first hitting, Strummer was still alive, of course. And from what I heard, this is what I heard, that they were like, we'll give you all the money. This is before even these crazy deals now.
Right.
But back then, Lollapalooza, we'll give you all the money. And they were like, no. And I was like, rad.
Paul Westerberg's kind of like that.
Yeah.
I can't go into any details, but I think the Replacements might have been offered something not too long ago that would have been really easy for most people to say yes to.
Yeah.
Say that.
Yeah.
And he said, no. I'm like, dude, it's not like you're rolling in dough. You're sitting in your basement in Minnesota. Like,
that's crazy, right?
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I mean, and I kind of love him for it.
Yeah, I was just in Minnesota 3 days ago.
Oh, you were?
Yeah, doing gigs with Burr, and we went to Matt's, the Juicy Lucy Burger.
Oh, yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
And then I was there doing gigs a couple years ago, and I went to the bar where the Replacements played all the time.
First Avenue?
Yeah, no, not First Avenue, that weird little shit bar.
Next to it, the 7th Street entry?
No, it's
Uptown?
It was some shitty bar like where they started. Forget what it's called.
Might have been the I'm not sure.
I'll look it up. But anyway,
sure.
I went there. It's still open, you know. It's just like a day drinking bar, and I guess they would play there.
I think it's called the Uptown.
Yeah.
I might be getting it messed up.
I'll look it up.
I think Tommy's mom, Tommy and Bob Simpson's mom, was a bartender there. She was a bartender for years and years and years and years at the same.
Right.
I'm getting it slightly wrong. I want to say it's the Uptown, but it's not. People are going to listen to this and be go, dude, they're yelling at the fucking.
I'll look right now. Let's
tell
see.
you what it is. It's the blah, blah, blah.
Hold on, I'll tell you. Because someone said when we were there, Minnesota bar.
Dude, I got to just, the Replacements and Paul Westerberg with money is so funny to me because, like, for instance, they never made a lot of money, okay? They just didn't. But they would constantly, like, there's stories that I've had verified from people. It's not like, oh, I heard that they used to do this, or I heard their tour managers would hand them their per diem, like, here's your $150 for the week to eat.
Right.
And they'd be drunk, and they'd just, like, to freak the guy out, they'd hand them the money, and they'd just rip the money up.
What?
Oh, yeah. Light money on fire, $100 bills on fire, and not having money, not like all being broken. People going, dude, you can't do that. What are you doing?
Whoa.
Matt Wallace, who produced the Don't Tell a Soul album and actually produced those Faith No More records we're talking about, like he produced The Real Thing and stuff. Matt told me when he was producing the Replacements out here in the late 80s, he'd given the part of his job as the producer was he was divvying them out their per diem. They were working at like Sunset Sound Factory. And he goes, one day I gave them each like a couple $100. Here's your per diem for the week, whatever. And the next day they came in, it's time to order lunch, and he says they all turned their pockets out like, we don't have any money. And it's like, did I give you guys each $240 yesterday cash? They go, well, we went drinking last night, and the bartender was a total asshole, so we just over-tipped him like crazy all night long. We gave him all our money. He's like, what the fuck? There's another story about them staying like at the Hyatt on Sunset and being drunk and crazy, and they wanted to go down to Smalls, which was a popular bar.
Oh, yeah, remember that?
The end of Gower.
Yeah.
Like Gower, where it dead ends into Melrose, I think.
Yeah.
And they found a cab driver. The first couple of guys wouldn't do it, but they finally found a guy that said, hey, we'll give you $150 if you take us to Smalls, way down there from there. But you got to drive backwards the entire way. And they did it.
He did it?
Taking back roads, taking little back streets.
Whoa! Oh, my God.
And that's why I love Paul Westerberg. I mean,
Here it is, CC Club.
The CC Club, yeah. And that's different. That's different than the place where Tommy Simpson's mom was a bartender.
Right,
she was a bartender somewhere else. And I want to say, Google, see if there's a bar called the Uptown.
Okay,
there's
the
something
Uptown?
real fucking close to it.
Let's
or maybe
see
it
it.
is called the Uptown. Or I think I might be getting it wrong.
The Uptown?
Yeah, is there a bar called that in Minneapolis?
I'll tell you right now. Uptown.
What do we got? Drum roll.
Uptown. Yeah, this is it. Uptown Bar and Grill.
There you go. Okay.
The Replacements Live Archive.
There you go. Okay.
Yeah, there's a bootleg from there.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
So switching gears a little bit, when did Stone come on your show? Stone
He did
Gospel?
about 3 months ago.
Oh, wow. You do it Zoom with them, I'm assuming?
Yeah, it was great.
Man, I talked to him right before we went on lockdown.
Uh-huh.
Seattle was one of the first places in the country.
Yeah, to get the
in
COVID.
the US to get COVID,
I
right?
know.
And before any of us knew what a big deal it was,
Yeah.
I remember talking to Stone. He goes, yeah, my daughters, he's got some young daughters. He goes, my daughters, their school shut down. I went, oh, wow. And I remember like walking around, I was like at Disneyland or somewhere with my kids going, wow, that's crazy for you guys up there. I'm sorry to hear that. And I remember hanging up and going, dude, it sucked to live in Seattle. Glad we're down here in LA where everything's cool.
Yeah.
Fucking like 6 days later, it's like,
Fucking crazy,
Everyone
right?
panicking and, you know, like, holy shit. But I'll never forget talking to Stone and going, oh, those poor bastards up in Seattle. You
Yeah.
know, they're having to stay in their homes, those suckers.
I love that guy. I mean, you know, Love Bone's one of my favorites ever. And then I love
so
the
cool, man.
I love the Pearl Jam record Versus so fucking much. And I love the things he did with Sean Smith, Brad. You know?
Oh, yeah.
I love that Buttercup and all that stuff. 20th Century.
Sounds
So
like
to
a
have
music
him
lover,
on,
man. He's
yeah.
like a music lover. He's so passionate about it, and he's always from the get-go been so down, like in a musical philanthropist of Seattle. You know,
He's cool.
always down to help people out,
Yeah.
and cheerlead people on. You know,
He wants to put my comedy record out.
What's that?
He wants to put my comedy
Oh,
record
really?
out. Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
And he's so unassuming. I like that.
Yeah.
You know, he's the
Yeah.
opposite of a flashy dickhead rock star.
Yeah.
You know, most people. I mean, I remember taking him to a gig with me to the Whiskey in the mid '90s.
Yeah.
And he and I were recording the next day at a friend of mine's home studio up in Laurel Canyon, and we're watching this band play, and a couple of musician friends of mine are standing around where we're standing. And Stone leans over to me and goes, man, he goes, we're watching this band up at the balcony, right? And he goes, man, I can't wait to play. Like, I want to go play now. I can't wait to play tomorrow.
Yeah.
And this dude, there's a guitar player in a band who was standing near us, who I kind of knew. He's like, oh, he goes, you play? And, dude, this is Pearl Jam. They were mega stars.
Yeah.
Oh, you play guitars? Like, yeah. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, really cool. And it's like, then it gets awkward. Where he's like, well, what's the name of your band?
Oh.
We're called Pearl Jam. You know what I mean? It's like, dude, then the dudes, they're both embarrassed. It's just weird for everybody. Stone's so unassuming and not flashy and all that shit, but he's like super generous.
Oh, man.
You know, it's just super generous.
He was great
and
on the
cool,
podcast,
and
dude.
I'm
Just a
sure he
fucking-
was.
How did you meet
Sweetheart.
him?
I met him through my friend Robbie, who's an old friend of mine, Robbie Allen from Long Beach, Robbie was a guitar tech early on for the Peppers. He teched for Hillel.
Yeah,
I mean, he drove the van.
Wow.
You know, him and Mark Johnson were their two techs when they would play Club Lingerie.
Yeah.
And the Whiskey, you know, and there was a club band, you know?
Yeah.
So Robbie was my buddy from Long Beach, and we used to be roommates. And so he worked for Hillel, then he worked for John Frusciante, and was on those early tours with Frusciante during Mother's Milk and Blood Sugar Sex Magic, that whole era. Robbie worked for the Peppers. So he'd become friends with Stone on tour with the Peppers and Pearl Jam. And actually, he introduced me to him. I think I met Stone when Pearl Jam played. It's a famous show, actually. You know, shows come and go for some people, but then there's certain shows that stick out. Remember that one night? There was a night that they played before Coachella ever happened, years before Coachella ever happened. In '93, they played at the Polo.
Oh, yeah, because they were battling the Ticketmaster. That's how they found the Polo Grounds.
Right,
like
the Empire
Coachella.
Polo Grounds,
They did their
whatever.
own show out there.
But there was a famous, we call it the shoe show.
Uh-huh.
Because people, whatever, a couple drunk people threw a couple shoes up. And it was weird because it was all Pearl Jam fans. It's not like they were waiting for Metallica. Like,
Yeah.
fuck you.
Yeah.
I'm talking. It was a Pearl Jam concert. People started throwing shoes up. And there was just like raining shoes up on stage. The band, I'm on the side of the stage going, holy shit. The bands, they do the encore behind Dave Aberzies, who's still the drummer.
Yeah.
Right? They're behind Dave. I'll never forget, they played Sonic Reducer.
Yeah.
Right? And they're like laughing, hiding from the shoes. And then they ignored it all. And they were good sports about it. At one point, Ed goes, okay, Jeff and I are going to wait by the exit. And every motherfucker that's barefoot, we're going to kick your ass. You know? But you can see them. I remember saying, like, dude, remember the shoe show in '93? They're like, oh, my God. Like, how can we forget that gig? Anyways, we met that night through Robbie. And I can draw stories out forever. So I'm going to condense this one and just say about a year later, I had made a record out in Boston with Juliana Hatfield. And I was living in Beachwood Canyon at the time. And I got home, and my girlfriend at the time goes, hey, Stone Gossard called and wants you to call him. I'm like, oh, okay. We'd met 6 months before or whatever. I call him, and he goes, hey, listen, Pearl Jam, we just let go of our drummer. And we're each going to pick a guy. We're going to audition 4 guys.
Yeah.
And I want you to be my guy.
Whoa.
I want to fly you up. We'll put you up wherever you want to stay. And if you're up for it, come audition for Pearl Jam. And I think I even said to him, honest to God, I said, dude, why isn't Jack Irons your drummer?
Right.
He's responsible for you guys being a band.
Yeah.
He's Eddie's best friend. He's not doing shit. And he's a great drummer. Bang, 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 bang. There would be no Pearl Jam if it wasn't for Jack Irons.
Right.
And he's sitting around not doing much. And Ed and him, neither of them have many friends. They're super close. why isn't he's going to be the drummer? Like, who are you kidding?
Yeah,
Flying me up to Seattle.
I mean, you can fly me up, but it ain't going to happen
Yeah,
because
that was
Ed's bringing Jack, and that's going to happen.
Like, come on, it's just, like that's not even fair. And Stone's like, yeah, you were being diplomatic about it though, and we're just picking a guy.
Did you go up?
Oh, fuck yeah.
Whoa.
So I went up. And
what songs you play?
To be honest, I can't remember.
Yeah.
I honestly can't remember. I remember playing and jamming, and it was at Stone's old house where in the basement they had a setup and they could play.
Yeah.
And the reason why I'm telling you this part of the story too is Stone and I became lifelong close friends during this time. He picked me up from the airport in his Volvo 960 station wagon.
Yeah.
And he'd said to me, hey, we'll put you up at whatever hotel you want. I've got a 3-bedroom house.
Yeah.
I live by myself. You can have one of the bedrooms. I said, yeah, that's where we're going to play. I said, I'll just stay at your house.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we stayed, and I hung, and we became really good buddies. And even at the time, I was like, listen, man, and I agreed. I had a good attitude. My attitude going into it was, I'll be optimistic. I'll do my best. But I'm not going to be heartbroken when Jack Irons is given the gig, because we all know what's going to happen. Who are we kidding,
Yeah.
So anyways, Stone's like, hey, man, it's good that we just know each other anyways, the future for different musical things. And so I didn't get the gig. Jack got the gig. Surprise, surprise. And there was no love. I wasn't bummed at all. I was like, yeah, it's all good.
Yep.
And Stone became one of my closest friends. And in the late 90s, he was going to put out the first solo record that I made through Loose Groove and was really amped about it. And then things started going kind of sideways at his label. And he said, listen, I'm selling part of it off, or I'm selling all of it off, or whatever the hell, to this company. And they'll still put out your record, but I just want to let you know I'm not going to be there anymore, and I want to be upfront with you. You're free to walk, and I understand if you do want to walk because your guy, me, is no longer there.
Yeah.
The new guy's name is so-and-so, some guy I'd never met before. He's happy to put out your record, but so anyways, long story longer, I didn't put it out with him. I said, I only want to do it with you, Stone, if you're going to be there. I don't want to do it with some stranger.
Of course.
So the Vandals, Joe Escalante from the Vandals had a label at the time called Kung Fu. Kung Fu Records put my record out, but cut to, and this is how I'm segueing into my solo record coming out, about a year ago, or maybe a little bit less. Well, no, at the beginning of lockdown, I started writing these songs for fun at home, and only to amuse myself and to have fun. I said, I'm going to write a bunch of 60-second songs, so it's less daunting than I got to write a 3.5-minute song with an intro and a bridge. No, just 60-second songs, in and out, done, strictly to make funny little videos on my phone and put up on Instagram.
Right.
It'll be 1 minute. And it's funny because when I was recording these at home, especially the beginning of COVID, when not only did all my work go away, but everyone was a little bit freaked out. Even if you weren't really freaked out, you were a little bit freaked out.
It was weird, yeah.
It was weird, man.
Yeah.
It got worse every day, and you go to
just dead bodies is all we're hearing about.
Dead bodies, and we're bringing in frozen meat lockers to put the more dead bodies. No toilet paper. Anyways, I started writing these songs to kind of amuse myself and have fun, and with literally, I swear on my life, zero intentions of ever releasing them. And now that they're being released, I have zero intentions of ever making any money from it. Yeah. And I'm not worried about it. It was more the act of going through it and doing it. And when I was in the studio, I've joked around with friends that, I used to kind of still kind of do online when I'm posting things. I'll kind of take the piss out of certain phrases that get thrown around a lot, blessed and all that shit.
Oh, yeah.
I'll put up a picture of P.F. Chang's and go, #blessed. You're like, huh? But one that also, I used to do all the time, I put up some ridiculous photo, of a Prince impersonator standing next to in a collage with a Southwest airplane, and I write, "The journey is the destination," but then when I'm in my studio a year ago, I was sitting there enjoying. I love the process of writing, recording, and then watching it come or hearing it come to fruition and listening to it. And I thought, you know what? If no one ever hears this, and if I never make a dime, right now, Tuesday morning, April 8th at 11 a.m., I'm enjoying myself doing this.
And getting your mind off that damn
and getting your mind off. Like some
COVID,
might be
man.
At home
it was brutal.
They might be enjoying rewatching The Sopranos right now. Or they might be enjoying
video
doing
games,
a fucking crossword puzzle or playing fucking Grand Theft Auto. I'm recording this ridiculous song that sounds like the Butthole Surfers, and I don't think I'll ever make any money from it, and I don't care because this is fun for me.
Yeah.
So I started recording all these songs. These are fun for me to do. And Stone hit me up and goes, dude, I've been seeing some of your shit online, and I'm kind of doing a reboot of Loose Groove Records. Let's put out a record. I'm like, okay, why not? I wasn't really planning on it, but hey, you've got a record label. you're one of the few guys that has a record label that really likes the songs I write, and then we're close, so why not? And kind of going, the stuff was basically done. I didn't get a budget, but what it was is I kind of turned in the songs. Just don't let me do whatever I wanted. He wasn't like, hey, can you try and write one more like this? Or can you try and do a little less of that? No, he's like, do whatever you want to do. Turn us in the songs. We'll have it pressed up. We'll pay for the artwork. We'll put it out. We'll get you a publicist for a couple months, and then we'll just put it out. And what's great is we both are doing it for the love of it.
Yeah,
and strictly
a great friendship and the fun that happened during COVID.
And neither of us have any big expectations of the other one as far as, like, if I go out and sell 300 copies, I'm not going to come to Stone and go, hey, man, you guys didn't promote
Dude,
my
you were
record."
doing
Like,
promo.
cry to him like everyone cries.
The 1 minute
You know what I mean?
songs.
Yeah.
You didn't get them on the radio, dude.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then when I go out and, when I don't go out and don't go and play any shows because I'm scared to death of ever playing a real live concert, he doesn't come to me going, dude, you didn't go on tour and support your record. He knows that I'm making these videos. I've made a couple videos. I'm making some more videos right now.
Heavy Metal Car Collection.
Heavy Metal Car Collection.
Great.
And then...
you were going to call that Vince Neil's Car Collection, right?
Yeah, it was. And I don't know how it turned into Heavy Metal Car Collection.
Because he was on another song and you didn't want to give him too much glory.
That's right, yeah, the Nicolas Cage. I got a song about, there's that footage of Nicolas Cage and him outside
at the Vegas.
Aria's Hotel.
Yeah, they're just fucked
There's
up.
a song called Headlock Nicolas Cage. And so I don't really talk about Vince Neil in it, but the whole song within the whole song, meaning there's only 8 lines, but it's about, them doing some day drinking in Vegas and some fan, pestering them, and then it turns into a thing, But the one thing that the thing I'm most proud of that song about is the fact that I changed the venue from it happening at the Aria Hotel? Arias Hotel?
Aria or whatever, yeah.
I changed the venue from there to Circus.
Yeah.
So in my story, it all went down to Circus. Vince Neil has like Vince Neil's
tattoo shop,
taco stand, steak house, or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
So, anyways,
dude, we got to go eat at Vince Neil's when we're in Vegas.
Come on, just pray that we don't get fucking food, I'll have the shout of the devil enchilada.
So it comes out October 29th?
It comes out October 29th. So the thing is also because the artwork's fun to do, and I learned no one wants to listen to CDs anymore, so we're releasing it digitally and vinyl. Yeah. And Stone said, listen, instead of doing 40, I said, let's do 40 songs. They're only 1 minute. Fuck it. He goes, well, instead of doing one album, let's do 2 albums. We'll have some fun with the artwork and stuff. So the album's called Just a Minute, and there'll be Just a Minute Volume 1 and Just a Minute Volume 2. And the first one comes out on the 29th, and the second one probably like maybe in January or something.
We'll be in Vegas when it comes out.
Yeah, we will be, yeah. The Dwarves and the Queens, that video is going to be unbelievable.
Yeah.
These Ukrainian sisters that do this amazing animation, like really cool shit. And they're big punk rock fans. They've done some stuff for Social Distortion. I think they may have done something for Green Day. But my brother, who plays keyboards at Green Day, introduced me to him a couple years back. They do really amazing work. Anyways, they're doing this animation thing. And it's funny because I told them some of the things I wanted in the video. I kind of helped them with, here's how to kind of like it to look, or maybe we could have more of this or more of that. Because the Dwarves are from San Francisco.
Right.
There's like, I gave them some imagery. Like, I like this. But it's funny, you being from up there. One of my favorite places in the world, don't ask me why. Actually, I know why. It's all for nostalgic reasons and having grown up doing gigs up there and the fun that I had when I was really young up in San Francisco. One of my favorite places in the fucking world is the Phoenix Hotel.
Oh, I love it. Well, that's where we met.
Yeah. I guess
great.
Probably,
that's where we met.
They were slim. So
we met because I booked Zap Dweezil at Stone.
Okay, yeah.
And then we all went to the Phoenix Hotel after.
There you go.
And that's where I asked Stone if they got their band name from there because Mrs. Pearl's Jam's house.
What did Stone say? Because I've thought about that before and I never asked him.
I mean, he said, no, he said something. It was something about like, but he said, I don't know, maybe. You know what I mean?
Yeah, who knows? It was 100 years ago.
Because fucking Mrs. Pearl's Jam House. Yeah. And I was always like, but yeah, dude, that fucking Warhol pool.
I love it.
I love it too.
I think I've stayed in every room there. Anyways, the Dwarves and the Queens, the video is going to be really, really great. I've seen it's so much animation. Like, they've done the first 30 seconds.
Yeah.
And it's only 60 seconds, right? But they did the first half and they sent it to me. Actually, I'll show it to you on my phone.
Oh, cool.
You'll get a gist of what it's like because it's really impressive. I think it's impressive that you're like, holy shit, these girls did an amazing job.
Now, this shit was going viral, right?
Well, not as viral as I would like it to
But
be.
still, it was like-
I think, well, I did a video for the song. I put the song out like a year ago. I put it up on my Instagram, right? You couldn't like download it yet or listen to it if you wanted to. And it was just a video of basically driving through Joshua Tree and lyrics scrolling by because the lyrics are pretty funny, right?
Yeah.
So, and that's the video. And I just did it myself. But these girls are now making a quote unquote real looking video for it. And, it's about, what the song is about, which is here's these two bands that I really like, that I'm close with both camps.
Yeah.
And, I wouldn't want to fuck with either of them.
Oh, yeah.
And they fucked with each other.
Yeah.
And it became a mess. And it sucks because when I hang out with the Dwarves guys, I don't pretend to not like the Queens of the Stone Age, but I also don't talk about them a whole lot. When I hang out with the Queens of the Stone Age, I don't pretend to not like the Dwarves.
Yeah.
They know that I know them and that I'm friends with them, but we just don't go there, really.
Yeah,
it's like you're not wanting to talk politics or religion with your family or something. We know that, sorry, like I like both you guys, and you guys had a thing. And the drag is, I like you guys a lot more when we're all one big happy family rather than, Caius, I think some of their first shows ever were opening up for the Dwarves 100 years ago,
Yeah.
And so Blag and Josh have a long history, and, they're both strong personalities and,
I love
interesting.
Josh.
He's great.
Yeah. I had him on a few months ago again.
Oh, yeah?
Just called me up one day. He goes, I want to come by. Turn on the mics. I was like, oh, all right.
Dude,
And
he can
came by.
talk.
Oh, my God. So fucking great.
He's so
It's one
funny,
of his
man.
top 5 episodes ever. I've had him on years ago, but this one was, it was real,
Whenever I think that I'm funny or clever, I hang out with Josh, and after about 30 seconds, I feel really dumb.
Yeah.
He's just fucking
Oh,
funny,
yeah.
man.
Oh, he is
He's a
funny,
fun-
right?
and I don't know if you know Blag, but Blag in a different way. Blag's super fucking funny. They're both funny, smart guys. And like I said, I wouldn't want to fuck with either of them, verbally or physically. So it's like, the song is purely out of love, too, where it's not like neither of them
Yeah.
could hear it and go, fucking Freeze, is he messing? Like, no, I'm not messing with anybody. I love you guys.
Yeah.
Come on, let's fucking hug it out.
We're old men
fuckers.
now.
Come on. Yeah, life's
we're old
too
men now.
short,
Yeah.
man.
Dude,
Yeah.
so good to see you, man.
Yeah.
Don't make it 100 years again. Let's hang in
do it.
Vegas, see
I
some
know.
comedy.
We should. Well, that's around the corner. That's in
Yeah.
2 weeks.
Yeah,
dude.
I know. So
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Matter of
yeah.
fact, when I couldn't get into your place today, I went, I got to have Dean's number, and I don't have your number on my phone, so we'll
I'll
swap
give it to you,
numbers.
yeah.
And
So-
Vegas will be fun.
All right, everybody, follow him on Instagram. And if you're wondering why I didn't talk about,
The other 18 bands I'm in?
because Josh did the podcast in 14. So go listen to that one and hear our first, 100 years together there.
Yeah.
And then dig into this because it's always funny when people come on, which I'm grateful. They find the show like a month ago. I've been on here 10 years.
Yeah.
They're like, dude, you didn't ask me anything about the Vandals and all that.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah,
We
I
already
did.
went there.
We covered Disneyland and touring. One last question. What drums you playing now? DW?
Yeah, DW, man.
Still
I've
there,
been a
huh?
lifer.
Yeah.
I got an endorsement with them when I was 12, when
Unreal.
their warehouse is about the size of your living room.
Yeah,
You know what I mean, it was like a tiny little boutique company. They were nobodies, man.
Yeah, they were great.
And,
When they came out, dude, wow.
Yeah, they, and I've watched them grow into, the world's biggest drum company,
Well, they changed the game of drums. They were a lot like Charvel. Here you got Ludwig and you got Pearl and all these companies, and they were doing their thing, and then there's a lot like Gibson and Fender, and then here came Charvel, and it was like, whoa, what the fuck,
There was so much attention to detail, still is with them, and, it was tough for them to turn over and become a bigger company because it's like their drums were expensive to make.
Yeah.
So they were expensive to buy. And, and it's like getting to that place where you could really start selling some drums and people would know about your stuff. It's funny how I went from, when they started getting, I'll tell you the day I knew they were going to be popular, or they were getting popular, and I was half bummed and half happy for them. Like when your favorite band starts doing really well.
Yeah.
Part of me is like, oh man, I'm seeing all these jackasses wearing
Yeah.
Chili Pepper shirts. I remember when no one knew who they were. Now everyone's wearing, but you're like, but good for them,
Yeah.
I was playing at Universal Amphitheater, rest in peace, right? Which then was Gibson Amphitheater. Actually, no, it was Universal back then, I think. But anyways, I was playing there with Infectious Grooves, and there was 2 opening bands. And when I got to sound check, this is in '91, and I was going, Yeah, man. I was probably 18.
Yeah.
19, so I already thought it was a pretty big deal walking into a sound check. My band's headlining Universal Amphitheater. And I walk into sound check, and there's drums on risers for the opening bands. They roll out.
Right,
They're
right.
on the wings of the stage. And both the other drum sets are DW drums from the opening bands. I'm like, who the fuck thought I was the only dude with DW drums around here? And the sound man, I remember being at the Whiskey, and the sound man's putting a mic on my kick drum once, like in 88, maybe?
Yeah.
88, 89. Putting a mic on my kick drum, and he goes, wow, he goes, DW drums. I've never seen a kit. And I go, you play drums? He goes, no, I'm a guitar player, but man, I've heard about these. Yeah. I mean, you rarely saw them. They were really special.
Totally.
And so when I walked in and saw, any Joe Schmo off the street can have these drums now? I was kind of like, dude.
Yeah.
And then I was like, you know what? I'm happy for him. That means they're starting to, it's picking up,
Yeah.
Now, I mean, and they bought Gretsch. They own Gretsch.
Oh, they do?
Yeah, they own Gretsch. They own LP, Latin percussion.
Yeah.
They own Slingerland, which they're trying to reboot.
Really?
The old Slingerland
Yeah.
company. It's great. Chris Lombardi, who's now kind of runs the thing. His dad, Don Lombardi,
Out there in Ventura?
Yeah. Don started the company, Don Lombardi and John Good. Anyways, Chris, the son, he's about my age and now kind of runs the show. His dad's kind of semi-retired. And he says to me about a couple years ago, his dad was turning 80, and his dad's a big, fan and aficionado of American drums and the history of drums, obviously. And Chris says to me, hey, man, are you around next week? I said, actually, I'm not. I'm out of town. He goes, because I'm going to have a little lunch with a few friends. He goes, I bought my dad this beautiful Slingerland Radio King kit from the 40s or something.
Yeah.
I'm going to present it to him. I go, oh, that's cool. He goes, yeah, it's mint condition. I go, oh, that's great. He goes, but also what I'm going to throw in is I also bought him Slingerland, the company. Oh. I bought this kit and I bought the company. We own the company now. I'm like, holy shit,
wow.
dude. Yeah, it's pretty
That's
cool.
a great story,
So
man.
after he gave his dad the kit, Dad, you like it? He's like, wow, this is amazing, Chris. And he goes, oh, by the way, we bought Slingerland. The whole fucking company.
Yeah.
Anyways, I love seeing those guys do well for themselves. And I got to say, man, driving up here, I'm stoked that you're doing what you're doing right now.
Oh, thanks,
and then
dude.
you've become as successful as you've become. It's really great. I love seeing that for any friend or anybody that I've known for a long time. It's always good to see.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
yeah. Well,
nice one.
I love it.
You bastard.
I love it that first of all, we're both still alive.
Yeah.
And we're both doing what we love, and when we survived during that incredible, brutal time, financially and physically and mentally, barely mentally, but thank you so much, man. It's all I do. Look, my life, I'm not married. I don't have kids. My life
You can have a couple of mine.
Yeah.
Or a poodle or something. Dude, I got four.
I got Gertie over there.
Oh, yeah, Gertie.
Get that Gertie's.
Gertie. Yeah, Gertie, a badass BMX bike. Man.
Yeah. Look at Gertie.
You got to get that number plate, though.
It's the wrong color, though.
That's true.
Yeah.
The Haro, the 80.
Yeah, I know.
Well, dude, we'll hang out in Vegas in a couple
Let's
weeks.
do it. Thank you so much.
It's right around the corner.
I can't wait to see it, dude. Come see some comedy. It'll be great.
Let's do it. We'll get
have you talked to Tunis at all?
I haven't talked to him in a bit, but it's always texting or he's sending me funny shit on Instagram.
Yeah.
So I feel like I'm in contact with him almost every day. So
all right, tell everybody your Instagram.
I will. Oh, I guess it's just Josh Freese, Josh Freese.
And then are you still if they want to get a hold of you to do drum tracks?
Oh yeah. It's great because the one thing I did at the beginning of COVID is I built a studio in my house years ago, but I've never really had to take it seriously because I'm always too busy out in the quote-unquote real world, working at real studios and traveling around. And then when this shit went down, I went, oh, wait a second. Maybe I should actually learn how to really use that studio because...
That's where we did the podcast.
Right.
The first one.
And I've been doing sessions for people. I've been making records with bands from around the world that go, oh, wait, you mean we don't have to buy him a plane ticket to come out to Toronto to make our record and get him a hotel? You can just send him the tracks and he sends them back and
That's great.
So, yeah, I'm doing that. And, when I can't, actually, I'm doing a little bit less of it now because I'm venturing out into the real world again, right? But depending on what it is, I still will do it and do it. Sting's got a new record about to come out, and the tracks I played on, I did in my garage.
Really? Yeah. Wow. What's the flavor of this record? Is it a rock record or?
Yeah, it's a pop record.
Yeah.
A couple of the songs that I played on that I did at my house, I did two kind of pop rock songs and one interesting ballad, and Branford Marsalis plays sax on the ballad track, and so I love the fact that I get to be on a track with Branford, who's been part of Sting's family for a long time, starting back when
Where's Sting live? In Europe? London?
He likes to spend most of his time in New York.
Oh yeah,
but mainly it's split between New York and the UK.
Yeah,
and then some summertime out in Italy at his place. He's got a gorgeous estate out in fucking
I
Tuscany.
love that guy.
Dude.
The Police is God to me.
Well, you should come to a gig and I'll introduce you.
Oh God, I met him once at Bungalow 8. Me and Jacob Dylan.
Oh, Bungalow 8, the place in New York.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had an end of tour party there years ago.
Yeah. So I'd love to meet him though. You know, outside of the club thing. You know. Sting
Sure.
would be a dream guest, you know. God, I saw the Ghost in the Machine tour. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like another goosebump.
Dude.
I was there. I fucking saw that tour. Cow Palace, third row. I was like real small. Got up in there.
That's them at
I
their
fucking
flight, just
watched that, and then I saw
drooling.
him, of course, later on. You know, on the big era. But this was
Seeing him back in '82.
This was the
come
shit,
on,
dude.
Man. That's
This
them
was the
just
shit.
going for it. You know?
I never forgot it, man. You know, giant steps onward.
Dude, so
fucking
rad. And
great.
Stewart just ruling.
Oh man,
Fuck, it's just exciting as
just
hell.
crushing
right?
with the telly.
Yeah.
That fucking Sunburst
Yeah.
telly custom.
Yeah.
Oh man, I fucking love it. All right, dude. I'll
Okay,
see you
Dean.
in Vegas.
Thanks, buddy.
All right.
All right.
See you guys.